Chapter 11. Hard Recovery. The sterile hum of medical equipment filled the air as Watcher entered the clinic, the soft lighting casting a cool glow over the pristine surroundings. The air carried the antiseptic scent of colto, the life-giving healing liquid that filled the tank where Aaron had recently been immersed. In a secluded corner of the clinic, a medical bed stood bathed in the gentle light. Aaron lay upon it, his form still and vulnerable. Droplets of water clung to his brown hair, evidence that he had recently emerged from the colto tank. His face bore the weariness of a recent ordeal, his features relaxed in a state of unconsciousness. Watcher approached with silent steps, her gaze intent on the unconscious operative. The soft hum of machinery and the occasional blip of monitoring devices created a symphony of healing in the background. The clinic was eerily quiet, the dedicated hush of a space reserved for the most critical of recoveries. Aaron's attire, a simple hospital gown, hinted at the vulnerability beneath the stoic exterior he often presented. Tubes and medical sensors were discreetly attached to his body, monitoring his vital signs and facilitating his recovery. As Watcher reached the side of the medical bed and observed the rise and fall of Aaron's chest, the soft swish of the medical bay door announced the arrival of the doctor on duty. He entered with a sense of purpose, his demeanor calm and professional as he approached the medical bed. "Watcher," he greeted with a nod of acknowledgement, his voice low and steady. "I see you've come to check on our patient." Watcher inclined her head in return, her expression a mask of concern as she turned her attention to the doctor. "How is he?" she inquired, her voice calm. The doctor took a moment to consult the medical readouts displayed on the nearby monitor before turning back to Watcher with a somber expression. "He's stable for now," he replied, his tone grave. "But there's more to be done." Watcher's heart sank at the doctor's words, a knot of worry forming in the pit of her stomach. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice betraying her concern. The doctor sighed heavily, his gaze shifting to Aaron's prone form on the bed. "The colto managed to stabilize his condition and helped to wash out the excessive amount of adrenals he used, but it's only the first stage of his recovery," he explained, his tone measured. "His vertebrae, specifically the L3 and L4 in the lumbar section, are shattered. He will require surgery to replace them. Otherwise, he is at risk of losing mobility and potentially facing permanent paralysis." A wave of dread washed over Watcher as the doctor's words sank in, the gravity of Aaron's situation becoming clear. "On a positive note, I can say he was fortunate," the doctor informed. "Whoever treated him saved his arm and likely his spine too." Watcher's brow furrowed. "He received treatment?" she asked, mildly surprised. "Yes," the doctor confirmed, then added with a hint of admiration. "Someone performed surgery on his shoulder and injected a colto gel into his spine. A brilliant move, I must say." Watcher turned her gaze towards Aaron. In the shuttle, after a brief examination of his shoulder, she had assumed he had managed to treat himself. He would need to provide a full report. "How long do you anticipate his recovery will take?" she asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. The doctor paused, considering his response carefully. "Given the nature of the surgery and the extent of the injuries, I would estimate a period of 4 to 5 weeks." Watcher nodded, absorbing the information with a grim determination. Her voice took on a steely edge as she addressed the doctor. "As I told you before, Doctor, I hope you understand the consequences if he does not recover," she stated firmly, her tone leaving no room for doubt. "Ensure that the surgery is successful." The doctor swallowed nervously, his eyes flickering with apprehension as he nodded in silent acknowledgement of Watcher's warning. Watcher refocused her attention on Aaron, a slight softening of her expression evident as she addressed the doctor. "Inform me upon his awakening," she instructed before preparing to depart. However, before the doctor could reply, a faint voice punctuated the room's stillness. "I'm awake." Aaron announced, his eyes still closed, his voice rough with disuse. The doctor's surprise was palpable as he hastened to the monitors, scanning the indicators once more. He was astounded by the agent's swift recovery, particularly considering the lingering effects of sedatives. "Are you experiencing any pain?" the doctor inquired, his tone laced with concern as he turned to Aaron. Aaron shook his head slightly, his steely eyes opening to regard the doctor before shifting to meet Watcher's gaze. "No," he replied tersely, his voice a low murmur. Watcher observed the exchange with a composed detachment, her expression revealing nothing as she absorbed the doctor's assessment. Relief washed over her upon hearing that Aaron was unharmed, though she concealed any outward emotion. "Thank you, doctor," she said crisply, her tone brooking no argument. "You may depart now." The doctor hesitated briefly, offering a lingering glance at Aaron before acknowledging Watcher's directive with a nod. With a final reassurance to the agent, he pivoted and exited the room, leaving Watcher alone with Aaron once more. "Agent, I require additional details regarding the events on Coruscant," Watcher began formally, breaking the silence. Aaron raised his head slightly, anticipating the forthcoming inquiries. "The doctor mentioned you received treatment prior to reaching the extraction point." Aaron glanced briefly at Watcher before turning his gaze ahead. He understood what she sought. She aimed to eliminate any unknown variables that could impact the assessment of the situation. "That is correct," he responded. "I evaluated that my condition might hinder my journey to the extraction point, so I opted to seek medical aid to address my injuries. Regrettably, I underestimated the severity of my wounds. I lost consciousness in a hastily located pharmacy. 2 pharmacists discovered me and provided assistance." Watcher listened attentively as Aaron recounted his encounter with the pharmacists, her expression unreadable. "They aided you without asking questions?" she inquired. "They deduced I had encountered a Jedi based on my injuries, so I had to improvise. I fabricated a story claiming to be an SIS agent investigating a conspiracy within High Republic ranks. I informed them that a Jedi was orchestrating the delivery of weapons to Balmorra," Aaron continued, his gaze fixed ahead. "You divulged that information to them?" Watcher's tone carried a hint of disappointment. "It was a calculated decision," Aaron replied impassively. "I needed a plausible explanation for why I had become a target for the Jedi." Turning his gaze to Watcher, he exuded confidence in his choice. "While still within the Senator's estate, I overheard conversations between him, the Jedi, and another senator. Their weapons operation is veiled in secrecy, to the point where even fellow senators are left uninformed. The Jedi found me shortly after I regained consciousness, but she didn't disclose my identity, not even to the pharmacists." "She could do that later," Watcher pointed out, her tone neutral yet probing. "If she did, I'm certain she portrayed my entire story as a fabrication and attempted to conceal the entire operation. Either way, we are left with 2 favorable scenarios. The pharmacists believed my account, casting doubt upon the Jedi's actions, or the Jedi convinced them that everything I said was a lie from the Empire. In the latter case, when the truth inevitably comes to light, the Jedi's credibility will be severely undermined." Watcher remained silent, her enhanced brain processing the intricacies of the situation. The prolonged silence was interrupted by Aaron's direct question. "What precisely did I retrieve from that console?" he inquired, his voice calm and composed, his gaze unwavering as it fixed on Watcher. Watcher met his stare with unwavering resolve, understanding the gravity of the information at hand. She began to outline the intelligence they had uncovered, her delivery methodical and precise. "Thanks to the data you accessed, we now possess detailed knowledge of a group of senators clandestinely arming rebels on Balmorra." Aaron absorbed her words without a flicker of emotion, his demeanor remaining inscrutable. Watcher pressed on, providing the specifics he sought. "We have pinpointed the exact drop-off points, mapped the freighter routes, and compiled a comprehensive roster of the Imperial collaborators facilitating these transactions, she revealed, her words hanging heavily in the air, laden with the weight of their implications. Aaron's calculating gaze remained steady, revealing no surprise or alarm. The revelation of Imperial treachery and the rebels' logistical network was merely another piece in their strategic puzzle, a potent asset in their ongoing conflict. Watcher observed closely, searching for any hint of reaction from her agent, but Arin's composed exterior revealed nothing of the inner turmoil that might churn beneath. All she discerned from his demeanor was the cold, precise calculation of a master strategist at work. He was, unequivocally, their finest operative, and his survival of the encounter with the Jedi Knight only solidified that assessment. In her knowledge, only one other operative had achieved such a feat: Watcher 1. Watcher felt the weight of Arin's gaze settling on her once more, as though he could discern the truth behind her facade, delving into the depths of her thoughts. At that moment, she understood that his question delved beyond the surface intelligence she had revealed, reaching for the encrypted files holding deeper, coded truths. Meeting his stare evenly, Watcher recognized the silent inquiry in his eyes. Aaron sought not only surface-level information, but also the concealed truths hidden within the encrypted data he had retrieved. Taking a beat to compose herself, Watcher prepared to divulge the sensitive information entrusted to her by Keeper, the Republic's superweapon initiative. The mere mention of it sent a chill down her spine, for she comprehended the ramifications of what she was about to disclose. "Agent," she began, her tone measured yet weighted with significance. In addition to the previously shared information, the encrypted files contain details regarding the Republic's superweapon initiative. Watcher detected a flicker of reaction in Arin's eyes, yet he remained patient, awaiting further elucidation. "Keeper mandated the disclosure of all pertinent information," Watcher continued, her gaze unwavering as she held Aaron's scrutiny. "And that encompasses the contents within those encrypted files." Observing Aaron absorbing her words with intense focus, Watcher discerned the gears of his sharp mind, working to piece together the puzzle of information she presented. She could almost visualize the cognitive process, the connections being forged, and the mysteries unraveled. As the weight of her revelation settled upon him, Watcher noted a subtle transformation in Aaron's demeanor. The lines of tension softened, replaced by a resolute determination burning bright in his eyes. Some pieces of the puzzle were falling into place for him, she realized. The intricate web of intrigue surrounding them was beginning to unravel, revealing a clearer picture. Remaining silent, Watcher afforded Aaron the space to digest the newfound knowledge at his own pace. Even if he harbored reservations about Keeper's secrecy regarding the project, he betrayed no outward indication. Aaron was well versed in the complexities of their world. Now, Watcher turned her focus to the crux of their discussion. She needed confirmation regarding the Jedi. Her voice broke the silence of the medical bay, imbued with professional curiosity, yet calm and composed despite the gravity of their discourse. "Agent, can you describe the Jedi you encountered? What were her characteristics?" she inquired, her tone steady and deliberate. Aaron provided a technical and precise description of the Jedi's appearance. "The Jedi is a Togruta female, dark blue skin with intricate white tattoos, brown eyes and white leku with red stripes. She wore gold jewelry on her forehead and leku." Watcher 2 absorbed the information with a nod, acknowledging the detailed account Aaron had provided. Yet, unbeknownst to him, she held another card up her sleeve. As Aaron finished his description, Watcher 2 subtly activated a holographic display. The air shimmered as a three-dimensional image materialized before them, projecting the Jedi's likeness based on the data gathered during the incident with Watcher 1. "There's a visual representation we managed to create after the incident," Watcher 2 explained, gesturing towards the hologram. Your technical description aligns well with the holographic model. Take a look. Arin's steely gaze shifted to the holographic projection, and as the image flickered into existence, the Jedi's visage became tangible before them. The Togruta's features, from the dark blue skin to the red-striped Leku, were rendered with remarkable accuracy. Watcher 2 observed Arin closely, gauging his reaction as he saw the holographic representation. The convergence of his technical description and the visual model served as a confirmation, reinforcing the accuracy of the intelligence they had gathered. Any additional details you recall could prove crucial, Watcher 2 added, her tone suggesting a continued pursuit of information. Arin began to recount the Jedi's formidable abilities, detailing her mastery of lightsaber combat, her agility, and her unwavering connection to the Force. With each word, he painted a vivid picture of their encounter, revealing the depths of their adversary's strength and resolve. As he concluded his description, he uttered a name that carried weight and significance. Kresa. It was the name that had haunted his every move, the name of the Jedi who had crossed not only his path, but the path of another operative and forever altered the course of their mission. Watcher's expression remained inscrutable. The name echoed in her mind, a symbol of the challenges that lay ahead and the adversaries they would face in their pursuit of imperial glory. Kresa, Watcher repeated, her voice tinged with a note of determination. Now, we have a name to match the face. We will remember that name. As Arin concluded his account of the encounter with Jedi Kresa, a subtle tension hung in the air. He had overheard Watcher's conversation with the doctor and was keenly aware of the impending surgery that would temporarily sideline him from field activities for at least 4 weeks. His steely gaze met Watcher's. "Watcher, what is my role now?" he asked plainly, his voice tinged with uncertainty. Sensing the significance of the question, Watcher took a moment to carefully choose her words before responding. "Given your upcoming surgery, your role will temporarily shift. During your recovery, we need you to focus on analyzing the gathered intelligence, deciphering any coded messages, and providing strategic insights." She paused, allowing the weight of her words to sink in before continuing. "We'll ensure you receive updates from the field, and your analytical skills will be instrumental in shaping our approach. Once you're back on active duty, your first-hand knowledge of Kresa will be invaluable." Arin absorbed the information with a nod, understanding the necessity of his role in the grander scheme of Imperial intelligence. His commitment to the cause remained unwavering, even if it meant a brief hiatus from direct field operations. Seeing his focused but slightly concerned expression, Watcher, against all her inhibitions, gently placed her hand on his. Surprised by this unexpected gesture, Arin turned to look at her. "You are our best agent, Arin, and I am glad you are alive," Watcher stated sincerely, her voice carrying a rare warmth. Arin remained silent, still staring blankly at Watcher's face. She called him by his name for the second time, but this time he didn't feel it was a mistake. Watcher did it on purpose. Sensing his astonishment, Watcher smiled, her warm hand moving away from his as she turned to head toward the exit. Before she walked through the door, she turned around. "Shara," she said quietly. "My name is Shara Jen." It took Arin a few moments to process the entirety of the situation. A genuine smile broke across his face. For the first time in his memory, this wasn't the learned gesture he practiced so often. It was a genuine, heartfelt expression.